cavern breathed around her. Aika moved through the narrowing passage, her boots scraping against stone that had not known living steps in centuries. The darkness was absolute here, no torches, no fairy light, only the silver-black vision Vladis's blood had granted her. She could see the mineral veins in the walls, the cracks where ancient pressure had split the bedrock, the thin roots of surface trees reaching down like desperate fingers. She could also see the bodies. There were old skeletons picked clean, armor rusted to orange stains, weapons crumbled to oxide, but fresh death lingered here too. The scent of copper and void musk clung to the stagnant air, recent enough to make her stomach tighten with something that was not quite hunger. Not yet. Ahead, Vladis whispered in her mind. Aika stopped her hand, found her sword hilt by instinct, the metal cold against her palm. The passage opened into a wider chamber ahead, a natural cathedral of stone where the ceiling vanished upward into perfect black, and something waited there. She heard it before she saw it, not breathing, something older than breathing, a rhythmic pressure against the air like the cavern itself inhaling. Then movement at the edge of her vision, shadows detaching from shadows, coalescing into form. It stood twice her height, if it stood at all. The thing was wrong, limbs too long, joints bending backward, a torso that seemed to ripple like smoke forced into flesh. No eyes, only pits of yellow phosphorescence that tracked her without tracking, that saw without sight. It smelled of ozone and old graves, and when it moved, the stone beneath it did not crack, but remembered cracking. The violence already done in some past moment, some future moment, time bleeding around its edges. Aika's breath caught, not from fear, from recognition. The creature was made of the same substance that now lived in her veins. She could feel it. A harmonic resonance in her blood, her shadows stirring at her feet in greeting or warning. Beautiful, Vladis murmured. The beast turned toward her, its jaw unhinged slowly, too wide, revealing rows of glass needle teeth that vibrated with a sound below hearing. It took a step, and the floor remembered impact before its foot landed. Then the screaming started. Not from the creature, from behind it, a man, human, filthy with dungeon grime and desperate terror, scrambling backward from the beast with a broken sword in his trembling hand. A survivor? A fool who'd wandered too deep. It didn't matter. He was between Aika and the monster, and he was bleeding from a gash in his thigh that left a trail of red droplets across the stone. The shadow beast turned toward the easier prey. No, Aika whispered. But she did not move. She did not draw her sword or call her shadows or step forward to intervene. She watched, frozen by something far colder than fear, as the beast descended upon the man. The traveler raised his blade. The beast shattered it with a casual swipe, black claws passing through steel like smoke through fingers. The man screamed again, high, animal-like, stripped of language. He tried to crawl away, fingernails tearing against stone, leaving pale crescents of flesh where desperation met granite. The beast took its time. It pinned him first, one elongated foot pressing down on his lower back until something cracked wetly. The man shrieked, a sound that tore at Aika's new senses, that vibrated in her teeth and echoed off stone walls that had heard such sounds before. Then the creature lowered its head, jaw unhinging further and further, impossibly wide, and began to feed. Not on meat, not on blood. Aika saw it clearly in her silver vision. The beast was drinking his fear, his pain. The yellow light in its eye pits brightened with each scream, each convulsion, each moment of pure, distilled terror. The man's body remained whole, technically alive, but something essential was being drawn out of him, stretched thin, consumed. And Aika felt it too. Each scream resonated in her chest. Each spasm of the dying man sent a sympathetic shiver through her own muscles. She could taste his terror, not metaphorically, but literally, copper and salt, and something sweeter on the back of her tongue. Her own shadows arrived at her feet, hungry, envious of the feast. She should look away. She should feel horror, pity, the desperate urge to intervene that had once defined her humanity. Instead, she felt her lips curl, a smile, small at first, then widening, stretching her face into something unfamiliar and sharp. The smile hurt her cheeks. She didn't stop. The man lasted longer than he should have. The beast was savoring him, drawing out the meal. When he finally went silent, body still twitching, eyes empty, soul devoured, the shadow creature lifted its head and turned back to Aika. The yellow eyes met hers. It waited, testing. She understood suddenly, Vladis's silence in her mind confirming what her instincts already knew. This was not random. The beast was his, or had been, or was part of this place that was his, and the traveler bait, perhaps, or simply opportunity, a mirror held up to her new nature. Would she weep? Reach for the corpse with trembling hands? Vomit her guilt onto the stone? Or would she step over it and continue? Aika walked forward, her boots scraped stone, the beast tensed, muscles coiling beneath that wrong skin, ready to strike if she failed whatever test this was. She didn't fail. She stepped over the body still warm, still twitching with residual nerve impulses, and kept walking. Her shadow brushed the dead man's face as she passed, and she felt a flicker of something try to escape him. Some last fragment of fear or soul, and her own darkness swallowed it without her consent. She didn't flinch. She didn't apologize. She didn't look back. The shadow beast watched her pass, then, with a sound like wet silk tearing, it dissolved back into the darkness from which it had formed, mission complete. Aika kept walking until the chamber narrowed again, until the walls pressed close enough to touch with outstretched hands, until she was alone with only Vladis's presence and her own heartbeat. Then she stopped. Her hands were shaking. Not from horror, from exhilaration. Her whole body trembled with it, a vibration that started in her spine and radiated outward, making her teeth chatter, making her want to laugh and scream and tear at her own skin to see what color her blood ran now. "Good," Vladis said. The word filled her mind like warm wine. She felt his approval radiate through their bond, a physical sensation, pleasure and validation, and terrible, seductive pride. "I watched him die," she whispered. "Yes. I could have stopped it. Yes. I wanted to watch." The silence stretched, heavy and velvet. "Say it," Vladis commanded softly. Aika closed her eyes. The darkness behind her was not empty anymore. It was full of teeth and approval and the memory of a stranger's final scream. "I wanted him to die," she said. "I wanted to feel it. I wanted." She stopped. The words wouldn't come, or too many words came at once, a flood of hunger and power and the intoxicating freedom of finally, not being the victim, not being the one screaming, not being the weak thing in the dark. "I am pleased," Vladis said. That was all. That was enough. Aika opened her eyes. The passage continued downward, deeper into older dark. She could smell water ahead, and something else, life, surface, air. The end of this particular hell. She started walking again. Her steps were lighter now, almost bouncing. A horrible girlish energy in her movements. She skipped once, twice, the sound of her boots against stone like laughter in the dark. Behind her, the dead man cooled ahead. The abyss waited. Aika hummed a tune she didn't know she knew. Vladis's voice harmonizing in her mind, and descended deeper into the dark that was becoming home.